The Creek War, a bloody chapter in American history, unfolded against the backdrop of the War of 1812. The Creek Nation, a powerful Native American confederacy in the Southeast, found itself deeply divided. This division played a crucial role in the outbreak of violence. While some Creeks sought peaceful coexistence with the United States, others fiercely resisted American encroachment on their land and way of life. This internal conflict, fueled by external pressures, set the stage for a brutal conflict. The Creek Nation, also known as the Muskogee people, had long inhabited a vast territory in the Southeast. Their ancestral lands encompassed parts of present-day Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. The Creeks had a rich culture and a complex social structure. They were skilled farmers, hunters, and warriors. However, the arrival of European colonists in the 16th century disrupted their traditional way of life. By the late 18th century, the Creeks faced increasing pressure from American settlers who coveted their fertile lands. The War of 1812, a conflict between the United States and Great Britain, exacerbated tensions between the Creeks and the Americans. The British government, seeking to undermine American power, saw an opportunity to exploit these tensions. British agents encouraged the Creeks to resist American expansion. They provided the Creeks with weapons and ammunition, further fueling the flames of conflict. Amidst these external pressures, a deep division emerged within the Creek Nation. This division, which would have profound consequences, centered on how best to respond to the growing American threat. At the heart of the Creek War was a clash of cultures and a struggle for survival. The conflict pitted Creek against Creek, each faction holding a distinct vision for the future of their people. On one side stood the Red Sticks, a militant faction named for the color of their war clubs. They vehemently opposed American expansion and sought to preserve their traditional way of life. The Red Sticks believed that armed resistance was the only path to survival. The Red Sticks viewed American encroachment as an existential threat. They witnessed the steady erosion of their hunting grounds, the forced removal of their people from their ancestral lands, and the undermining of their cultural traditions. They saw the Americans as invaders who sought to destroy their way of life. Determined to resist this perceived threat, the Red Sticks prepared for war. Leading the Red Sticks were charismatic figures like William Weatherford, also known as Red Eagle. Weatherford, a skilled warrior and orator, commanded the loyalty of many Red Sticks. He urged his followers to take up arms to defend their homeland. Weatherford's impassioned pleas resonated with many Creeks who shared his fears and grievances. The Red Sticks' resistance was not solely a reaction to American aggression, it was also a reflection of a deeper cultural clash. The Red Sticks clung to their traditional beliefs and practices, which emphasized communal living, respect for nature, and resistance to assimilation. They viewed the Americans' emphasis on individualism, land ownership, and material wealth as a threat to their values and way of life. The Red Sticks War was therefore a fight for cultural survival as much as it was a fight for land and sovereignty. The Red Sticks resistance did not emerge in a vacuum. It was part of a larger movement of Native American resistance that swept across the Southeast in the early 19th century. This movement drew inspiration from the teachings of Tecumseh, a Shawnee chief who sought to unite the Native American tribes against American expansion. Tecumseh's message of pan-Indian unity and resistance resonated deeply with the Red Sticks. Tecumseh, a charismatic leader and skilled orator, traveled extensively throughout the Southeast in the years leading up to the War of 1812. He carried with him a message of hope and defiance. Tecumseh urged the Native American tribes to put aside their differences and unite against their common enemy, the United States. He argued that only through unity could Native Americans hope to resist American expansion and preserve their way of life. Tecumseh's vision of a pan-Indian confederacy struck a chord with the Red Sticks. They saw in Tecumseh a kindred spirit, a leader who understood their plight and shared their determination to resist American encroachment. Inspired by Tecumseh's message, the Red Sticks intensified their preparations for war. They stockpiled weapons, conducted raids on American settlements, and sought to forge alliances with other Native American tribes. Tecumseh's influence on the Red Sticks was profound. He provided them with a sense of purpose, a belief that they were part of a larger struggle for Native American survival. Tecumseh's message helped to transform the Red Sticks from a loosely organized group of resistors into a formidable fighting force. His legacy would continue to inspire Native American resistance for generations to come. The Creek War reached a brutal turning point in August 1813 with the Fort Mims Massacre. Fort Mims, a makeshift stockade in present-day Alabama, became a symbol of the war's savagery. The massacre sent shockwaves through the American Southeast and ignited demands for retribution. It also marked a decisive escalation in the conflict, transforming what had been a series of skirmishes into a full-blown war. In the summer of 1813, as tensions mounted, hundreds of settlers sought refuge within Fort Mims's walls. They believed the fort offered them protection from the escalating violence. However, their sense of security proved tragically misplaced. On August 30, 1813, a force of Red Stick warriors, led by William Weatherford, launched a surprise attack on the fort. The Red Stick's attack was swift and brutal. They overwhelmed the fort's defenders, killing hundreds of men, women, and children. The massacre at Fort Mims sent shockwaves through the American Southeast. It ignited a firestorm of outrage and fear among American settlers. The massacre also had profound consequences for the Creek Nation. News of the Fort Mims Massacre spread like wildfire, reaching the ears of Andrew Jackson, a prominent Tennessee planter and militia leader. Jackson, known for his fiery temperament and military prowess, vowed swift and merciless retribution. The Fort Mims Massacre had transformed the Creek War from a local conflict into a national concern, and it thrust Andrew Jackson onto the national stage.